I always feel like a news anchor or something when you're
Right.
just kind of like waiting, like, and the whole crowd is like watching you.
Yeah.
But we came together, man. For one, anything that we do when we come live, man, there is a list from Complex Magazine, and it's 50 best LA rappers of all time.
Of all
Complex
time!
2025, 50 best LA rappers of all time. All righty. And there is a full breakdown of 50 people that we're going to talk about. Some we'll talk about. There's, and when you come down to these kind of lists, everything gets opinionated.
Yeah.
And I think that they create these lists so we can do stuff like this.
For sure.
So you can have conversations, and I would say, and we're not going to talk about it now, but there's one of the biggest things that's going to be debated on here,
sure.
and we'll speak on that. And I feel like when they put this list together for Complex, I feel like they intentionally did the list like this, and they left one person off, and everybody keeps saying, where is that one person? But before we do that, man, the way that they broke this down was there was 3 areas that they felt was necessary to create this 50, right?
There were 3 core principles. Skill as a hip-hop artist is 1. 2, strength.
Well, that blew a lot of people off of here.
The second one was strength of catalog, and third and finally, commercial impact and lasting legacy.
Okay. All right.
Lasting
now.
influence.
Let's do the top 10. Top 10, Nipsey Hussle coming in at 10. Number 9, Eazy E. Number 8, Be Real. Number 7, Ice-T. Number 6, DJ Quik. Number 5, Tyler the Creator. Number 4, Dr. Dre. Number 3, Ice Cube. Number 2, Snoop Dogg. Number 1 is Kendrick Lamar. That's just the top 10 right there. Now, the one thing I want to address first is that there is absolutely no Tupac on here.
Exactly.
And when people do anything, and not just about the 50 best LA rappers, when people do anything as a top 5 or as a Mount Rushmore, Pac is automatically added into a lot of those categories.
Right.
Can I tell? Well, when you finish,
Right.
they actually wrote up why.
Right. And
Pac
give the
wasn't
reason
there.
why Pac wasn't on there.
The reason why is this. For the list, it's an artist who creatively came to life in the city and reflects its ethos in their music.
Right.
And by LA, we mean LA County. That's why some big names didn't make it. They didn't make the cut. Tupac might seem like an LA rapper, but he only lived in the city for a couple of months. And although he had some big hits under the Death Row banner, he was fully formed, platinum selling artist by the time California Love came out.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. When people speak about Pac, right? Pac, we take Pac as West Coast, LA, and he is that.
Yeah.
But Pac, excuse me, was also born on the East Coast.
Yep.
And when you had the digital underground influence, which was beautiful, you know what I'm saying? When with the Bay Area, that was beautiful. Same song, hearing that introduction to Pac with same song, and Pac being one of, digital underground dancers and everything like that.
Right.
It was a Bay Area situation in music that a lot of the introduction for Pac came from the Bay Area.
Right.
And then Pac came and he did his thing with us in LA. Right. So a lot of people that are Pac fans, and I knew Pac. I knew Pac before Death Row. I traveled with Pac. I knew Pac just on a personal level. So I knew where Pac was from. I knew Pac's heart, everything, and you don't take anything away from him. But I can see on this list, there's going to be a lot of conversation about why Tupac isn't on this list. And I thought that they broke it down very well. When Pac came to Death Row, Pac was only on Death Row for, months. It wasn't even
about 6 months.
They say about 9 months.
9 and 6 months.
You know what I'm saying? But even with that, a lot of posthumous music came, and a lot of people came to Pac after Pac passed. And there was that LA torch and that Cali torch that Pac raised, and I feel that's why people look at this list and they say, why Pac not on this list for LA?
Yeah.
And they're talking about like from LA. They're not talking about born, because Xzibit's on the list.
Yeah.
Xzibit wasn't born in LA, but Xzibit popped right here in LA.
Yes.
Kurupt is not from LA.
Yes.
Kurupt
Right.
is
That's what
from
they meant.
Philly.
Philly, right?
And Xzibit's from New Mexico, but those are LA and West Coast artists. You know, so no disrespect to Pac. I can see what was going on, but that's gonna be the conversation. You know, that look how we started. That's gonna be the conversation started.
Yeah, that's actually one of the
first
first
things
things
you
that
notice,
I
huh?
noticed, because I'm like, what? Like, how is Pac not in here? Like, the influence that he had. And mind you, I mean, obviously I wasn't born
Right,
when,
see?
you know, like, but I know his music.
There's
And
people that bang for Pac like you
Mhm.
that wasn't, you know, either they weren't born or they were very young to
Yeah.
Pac, you know, those kind of things.
And
Pac
that's
is-
the question we're getting right now too. Like, where's Pac? Where's Kurupt? And where's Young Gotti?
Yeah, man. And
Kurupt
it's
isn't on
why
there?
Kurupt
I
is
think
on
Kurupt
there.
is on
Yeah.
here.
Kurupt That's what someone asked in the chat, Roland.
is
Yeah, Kurupt is
13.
number 13 on there.
Okay, yeah.
Complex also mentioned that we're also focusing strictly on rappers. So while artists like Nate Dogg and Ty Dolla $ign are iconic LA artists, they're fundamentally singers, not
Right,
rappers.
yeah. Yeah.
That's
I
fair.
can give him that.
Yeah.
I can give him that. And what's wild about this, man, I was like, some of the names that's on here, I was like, this person got to be from LA that created
Right.
this.
Yeah.
I just spoke with someone, right, that
Mhm.
they wanted to include in this. And they was like, the list wasn't created from somebody from LA,
What?
which kind of fucking blew me away.
I mean, they did their homework.
Yeah, and the reason why, and I say the same thing, because there's some names on here that when I look at this list as 50 best LA rappers of all time, there's some names on here that I'm glad were put on this list, because you don't see a lot of these names on these kind of lists.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Right.
And when I look at some of them, I'm like, Tash from the Alcoholics came in at number 36. I wish they would have put J-Ro on there as well. You know, the licks, because those are guys that I felt for the West Coast, even with Tash. Tash wasn't born in LA, but Tash is an LA artist. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I wish that they would have put J-Ro on here as well. But you don't see Tash make it to a lot of these lists.
Yeah.
You don't see West Coast Cam make it to a lot of these lists. So when I look at the list, I don't argue about who's on there, who should be number one.
Mhm.
I just look at it, I'm like, damn, AC alone from Freestyle Fellowship. I wish
Yep.
Micah 9 was on there, Self Jupiter.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but seeing AC on here, that is ridiculous.
Big
I
guy-
love it.
I shared your opinion too. Being that I'm in a group too, I feel like we need to show love to the group as
Right,
well.
right,
you know what
right,
I mean? So you know,
I knew you hear this, hey Juan, you hear this? I knew he was gonna bring up his group. Man, hey Juan,
He
come
did
get
not.
your boy,
The
man.
promo is crazy.
Yeah, come get your boy.
Wow.
All right, and what's the name of your group
Honor
again?
Flow
Chuck?
Productions. We got a
Honor
new
Flow
album
Productions.
We're playing
Period.
Ryan Fest. We got a new album coming out soon.
Right.
Anyways, back to this list.
No,
Oh,
but you
wow.
saying being in a group, you're saying you would
It's-
like to have the whole group
It's
on
important because you know, Evidence and Dilated Peoples is on here. It's 45.
Yeah.
You gotta mention Rock
Yeah,
Our
man.
Science.
And see, that's another one. When you think about Dilated, right? I love seeing Evidence on there. But then you start thinking about like, damn, like, you know, where's the number this and the number that's, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So you got, you know, of course, you got to mention Dilated. Well, I Am is 42. You got to
Yeah.
shout out the Black Eyed Peas, you know, App and Taboo. Fat Lip from the Far Side.
Hey
Far
man,
Side's
when
on
I
here.
saw when I saw Fat Lip on there, I was like, Fat Lip from the Far Side is amazing. And then that's another one. I was like, fuck, where's Booty Brown? Where's
Mhm.
Romai at? Where's Trey at? Where's
Mhm.
Imani? But just seeing Fat Lip on there, and you don't see Fat Lip from the Far Side. You don't see them make it to these kind of lists. So when I look at this and I look at MC8 made it to the list. King T from the city of Compton. King T is one of my favorite MCs.
Oh wow.
One of my favorite MCs. The first MC that I saw with like, you know, Cadillac 12 gauge on it. The first one I heard say Crip. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
King T for me is one of my favorite lyricists, right? But King T never makes it to a list. Those that know, even Biggie, Notorious B.I.G., he loved King T because people that know King T, and King T is never one of those people that bang on his chest about what he did for the West Coast, you know, who's originally from Compton, that kind of thing. Those that know King T, and when I see King T on this list and King T comes in at number 16, I effing love it, man.
Big, can you correct something for me here? Everlast.
Mhm.
I associate Everlast because he always wore the Celtics gear as a Boston guy. But
Right.
Does he have LA ties? Am I missing something here?
You know,
With House of Pain?
Well, before House of Pain, Everlast is from Rhyme Syndicate.
Right.
Never missing the beat, Everlast. You know what I'm saying? So he's an original member from Rhyme Syndicate.
Right.
So that's where, you know, and then when Everlast got to the House of Pain thing and the things you're saying with the Shamrock and the Boston thing, that's still Everlast. But Everlast early on Never Missing a Beat, Everlast. You know what I'm saying? That was Rhyme Syndicate.
You're right.
So I can see that. You know what I'm saying? And Everlast coming in at number 44. Everlast is an MC. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Look at Juan over here passing out lists. You know? Yo-Yo, I love seeing Yo-Yo in there. And I'm starting with those like Razkaz and these names that you'll see that don't kind of make it to these lists. And they're not the topicals like how people say, oh, Kendrick, you know, they're not these top 5, but they're top 5 to someone else. They're not top 5 to this list right here.
Right.
And that's why I wanted to make sure that I gave some of these accolades early on to some of these people that don't make these lists. To me, Razkaz coming in at number 33. Razkaz is a lyrical assassin.
Absolutely.
Razkaz is a beast when it comes to it. So when you start to see this and you see somebody that represents the 50 best LA rappers of all time, Murs is on there. He should be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Razkaz should be. Lady of Rage should be. The things that Coolio did for hip hop in LA through
Monster
Compton
Records.
and everything. Yeah. Coolio, rest in peace, should be on there, man. Crooked Eye should be. Perico, I love that Perico's on here. So with that being said, man, I want to really open up to where either someone is at or movement around, or who are they missing off of this list?
All right.
Here goes Lou.
Louis G.
Here we go, dog.
Talk to him, Lou.
Blueface at 50.
Right.
You can't shut up about that
This is
one.
what
I agree
I'm
with Louis.
saying, dog.
Yeah, I'm with him too.
I get it.
This is what I'm saying. Like, if it comes to of all time Blueface, no way, bro. It trips me out, especially from Los Angeles. I think Problem over Blueface.
Yeah.
I think
Problem. Jason Martin.
Like,
come on.
Come on. What he did.
Bad
with LA
luck. You know, and I don't want to start naming so many people because
Yeah.
there's going to be so many people that I forgot. But if we go to a cloth being cut to Mixmaster Spade,
Yeah.
Toddy T, like there's some right there that's like foundation members, you know. But yeah, Louis been on Blueface head,
Bro,
For
for
real.
what, dog?
right?
I just
And he's
don't
not even
understand.
cool
I don't get it.
with Blueface face being 50.
No.
Right. Right.
It's like they
Right.
just ran out of people. They're like, oh, just throw him in there.
Right.
But also you
They-
have to. Oh,
Go
Sorry,
ahead,
I was gonna
please.
say in the comments too, people are like, "Where's E40 and Too Short?"
Well, this is not
Yeah.
LA. This is LA.
They from the
they're not. They're
Bay
from the
Area.
Bay Area. This
Too
is the
Short
West Coast.
too, though.
Too short
was
is too short. Is
yeah.
Oakland.
Oakland, yeah,
Okay.
but like, doesn't he have like a big, just I guess?
We're not talking about fan
influence?
base.
Yeah. It's like he reps the
Too
Bay.
Short is Sir Too Short coming straight
Yeah.
from Oakland. Like Too Short, and big ups to anybody that's in the chat.
Andre.
But Andre, but Too Short would tell you he's from Oakland, and really,
Oh, yeah.
man, not disrespecting anyone that's on or off the list, but Too Short, no, he shouldn't be on this list
Yeah.
because Too Short Too Short is not from LA.
Yeah.
And there's nobody that can say, oh, big this Too Short. Like Too Short, tell you, I'm not from LA.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like if he was on that list, his audience in the Bay would probably be like, "What the hell?" Like,
Yeah, I mean, Pac got more of a valid reason
Right.
for
Yeah,
being on
true.
here
Mhm.
than Too Short.
Even though if you heard Big's off-air interview with Too Short, you can go let's watch it right now on the YouTube channel.
Period.
Short has LA ties. I had no idea LA ties
Right.
until I was at the interview. Had no idea he
Right.
went to Dan Murphy High School for a year. I was like, wow.
Right,
So,
but
he's Oakland without question.
Yeah, Short is
Mhm.
Oakland. Everything started in Oakland.
Absolutely.
The tapes, the first shows, you know. I mean, hell, you listen to he's Sir Too Short coming straight from Oakland. So yeah, E40, no need to be on this list. Vallejo, California, Yay
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
That's
Mm.
E40. You know, he wouldn't be on the list. And E40 will tell you, like, I understand why I'm not on that list.
Right.
E40, one of my favorite MCs. You know what I'm saying? But E40 shouldn't be on this best LA rappers of all time.
Mhm.
You know,
Charles
You-
says he gets it too now. He's like, I get it. Strictly LA.
yeah. And some people don't have the list right in their hands like we have it. Because even
Yeah.
when the game hit me yesterday in Instagram, right? And hopefully I have it right here still. And when the game hit me in Instagram, I immediately went to my DM because it hit me on a DM, and it said, "Hold on, let me see here. All righty, game. She just changed the name of Game. You know what I'm saying? So LA Confidential. So he sent me this, and it was him talking about the list, right? And I hadn't seen the list, and he put Game at 11 is nasty work. I'll bust that whole list ass, you know. And then he said all the motivation I needed to finish the documentary 3. Y'all got Game fucked up, and he put that up, but he sent it to me, right? And then I was like, oh shit. I'm not sure what list Game is talking about. However, it's about to go down. Game is a lyricist. Now, at that time when Game hit me, I didn't have this list.
Gotcha.
And so I didn't know what number 11 was. And I didn't even know that it was 50 best LA rappers.
Yeah.
So with Game saying, I'll bust that list whole ad. I haven't heard anybody else come after the list, but that's, you know, Game gonna do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know that Game was number 11 out of the top 10. I didn't know what list Game was talking about. But Game was like, that's all the motivation I need. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And Game should be on that list.
1000%.
Yeah.
Shit, but I think 11 is good where he is, to be
Right.
honest with you, because it's like, are you better than Kendrick, Snoop, Cube, Dre,
Game
Tyler,
would say,
Quik?
hell yeah.
He's great,
I bet that
but-
Game would move some of this around himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Game would probably move Tyler off of out of the top 10.
Probably.
You know what I'm saying? And then Game is also one of those that he respect the culture, so he probably wouldn't play with Dre, or probably wouldn't play with Cube or Eazy E,
Right.
even though he know that he can get on the mic and go, you know, microphone, you know, verse for verse.
Mhm.
But just out of respect, I don't think that Game would touch him. But he's like, man, number 11, yeah. People think like, damn, number 11 out of 50, hell yeah. But Game was like, all right. He was like, all right, that's what y'all want to do.
It's
Watch.
so important to emphasize pre-blog era, pre-Kendrick. The Game was the guy in LA.
Mhm.
He held us down for he had a good 4 or 5 year run. It was just him.
And the Game held us down when it wasn't a lot holding us down.
Right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
It wasn't a lot holding us down, man. And the Game came in, and with anybody that's on here, you know what I'm saying? Like when you look at J-Rock TDE, you know what I'm saying? Before a lot of people got on, J-Rock, you know, he had that on his shoulder. And when you look at certain names that's on here, they held it down. King T held down Compton and the West Coast when, you know, at a moment when other people weren't. You know what I'm saying? You look at certain names like Warren G. He saved Def Jam Records, not
True.
Def Jam
Wow.
West. He saved Def Jam as a label when he came on. And Russell Simmons will tell you that Warren G, when they signed
Wow.
this kid from Long Beach that didn't get on death row, when they found him and he found them, that their budget opened up. He saved Def Jam as a label. So those are the certain things that, and on the surface, y'all don't have to know this. Y'all don't have to know about MC8 because your list to be different, Ani.
Mhm.
Mariana, your list to be different.
Yeah.
Your list to be different.
Yeah.
And Blueface, of course, Lou, we know he won't be anywhere on the list.
Not at all.
But my list isn't better or as important as yours
Right,
because, and like I say, whatever on ramp you guys got on, that's the on ramp. I just got on the on ramp of hip hop and LA hip hop a little earlier.
That's what
So
I was,
you wouldn't know who a King T is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
exactly. And that's what I was gonna say too, that I really like that they dived into like the old school hip hop versus like the new, and they made
Well,
it
it's
a
all time
great,
they had to.
yeah,
Yeah.
they really made
Mandatory.
a great list out of it, and everybody's gonna have a different opinion. Like you, just because like we're different generations, different eras.
Yeah.
So I do like that too.
Who do you see on there that stand out to you, Mariana?
Absol, I feel like needs to
Ab.
be early, like probably like 13 for me
You
because
push Ab all the way up?
yeah, because I feel like a lot of people underestimate him because he doesn't come out with
Yeah.
music all the time.
I don't think we've seen the best Ab Soul yet either.
But
Yeah.
he is a lyricist.
Yeah.
Like he could rap.
But
like
who's not a lyricist from Top Dog Entertainment?
Good point.
True.
That
You
is
know what I'm
true.
saying?
They all can go.
That is
Every
true.
one of them.
All of them can go, man. Of course, Kendrick go,
Mhm.
but J-Rock is a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's
Ab
also
is
really
a
good.
beast. Ray is a beast. You know, anybody that's under that umbrella,
Doechii.
Doechii a
G.
beast.
Yes.
Schoolboy Q.
Q a beast.
Wait, but Doechii's not from LA.
no, I'm just talking about from TDE
Oh,
roster.
okay, yeah.
yeah. Follow along with the
Yeah.
live.
I'm like,
Follow us now, see? You know, you know where we're at. We talking about the city.
Yes,
oh, okay.
I remember now.
Alrighty.
All
There
time,
you-
right?
there-
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah. Ani, what would you not move around, but what does this list look like for you?
I would definitely have YG a little higher because to me, YG is like West Coast everything. And anytime he steps out, he performs. He's such a lyricist to me, and the energy that he has.
And YG came in at number 15.
Yep, I would
Yeah.
move him up. I'm going to tell you that higher than the Game. But I will
Really?
say, I'm surprised that Will I Am
All right,
is
gang,
on
go write a
here.
verse for you.
Oh, no. Okay. Hold
I
on.
think he's
Hold on,
dope. I
hold
love
on.
him. I just didn't
Hold on.
realize he's a rapper.
I want you to
Wait,
say
what?
I want you to say that in the clear. No, because this is what I'm talking about. There's certain things that people don't know, and it's not wrong.
Yeah,
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 I
yeah.
thought-
It's
not
when
wrong.
you got on your own ramp.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like there's some people out there when you say, "Oh, Will Smith," they like he raps.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't know that Marky Mark rapped.
Not at
So
all.
with you saying Will I Am, all right, now repeat what you were gonna say.
I'm surprised Will I Am is even on this list at number 42 because I didn't realize he was a rapper. I even Googled it. I'm like, Will I Am, is he a rapper? And he's a
Yeah.
rapper. But I just thought he was more pop because, like, I'm a B, I'm a B, I'm a,
Right.
I'm a
Yes,
B. But, like, it's true.
literally.
He is a rapper. I love him so much, but it really surprised me. I had to Google this.
Yeah,
Big and I looked at each other and I looked at Wacko too. Let's get something clear.
yeah.
Pop hits aside, Will I Am came up battling in the clubs,
Yeah.
at the whiskey,
Will-
at
Will I
Ballistic.
Am
Yep, the whole
Is
piece
a
did.
battle dancer and battle rapper and freestyle
Mhm.
king.
Whoa.
Not just from Black Eyed Peas or the Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah.
I'm talking about at Band Clan and
Mhm.
everything.
I know.
Like that dude making pop records, popular records for, and this isn't me saying, oh, you know, you didn't know because you didn't know.
No, I really
But
didn't.
making pop records with Black Eyed Peas maybe was easy for Will I Am.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Oh.
and it made it great. But Will I Am is from the turf. He's from Ballistics. He's from Guadalindas. He's from United Nations. He's from these clubs that was popping. You know what I'm
Oh.
saying? Like he was from these clubs that it wasn't about cameras. It was about,
Mhm.
freestyle dancing and picking up the microphone. That's why Will I Am can rap from here today into next Thursday because Will I Am he's an MC. And a lot of people, you didn't know
Yeah,
that.
I
You
didn't know
idea.
that.
A lot of people didn't know. So even when you look at this and you say, oh man, Will I Am is at 42, maybe he deserves 42,
Mhm.
but maybe somebody else will put some wiggle room around because there's some great names in here. I wouldn't even know where to wiggle around people
Yeah.
at.
Right.
But yeah, Will I Am, man. Will I Am, because 42 is, it's a 50 list.
Yeah.
Would Will I Am make it to the list for you guys, or y'all just thought that he was pop?
Yeah,
I thought he was pop.
same.
Wow.
The whole
Same.
piece would make. I mean, just influence. I mean,
Yep.
from a text,
Taboo,
from a text,
Beast.
from a text
App.
standpoint. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Big.
Go ahead. No, that's it.
From a text standpoint, I mean, what the P's have done as a whole,
Mhm.
like it's bigger than most groups out of LA.
Yeah.
It's important to mention that.
Black Eyed Peas is one of the biggest groups out of Los Angeles.
The P's were earlier.
Oh,
I've kind of
wow.
what's the name of the earlier group?
At
At
Band?
Clan signed to Eazy E.
At Band Clan signed to Eazy E and Ruthless Records. That's how far back they go with this thing called hip hop.
Wow.
You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? So, and y'all didn't know. So I don't want nobody like, oh, they didn't know and teach them uncle. Like, no, they didn't know. Just like there's some things that like I say, this is where y'all know it from.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
and then
knew
it
him-
takes us or somebody that knows to say, oh no, this is probably why, or this could be the reason, or why I feel like Will I Am should be on this list. You know?
Right.
Yep, because I'll see him at like the pop radio station concerts and stuff, but I never really
Yeah.
see him at a hip hop concert. So in my mind, it was always like,
Understood. Totally understood.
Same.
Totally
but I
understood.
do think it's cool he's on the
and
list.
and I don't want anybody to think that you ladies in here are misrepresentation of hip hop, or why are they in there kind of thing. Somebody else should have been in there, that type of shit. This is a conversation of people that just in the room, and there's some people that will question and don't know, and then there's others that'll say, man, throw these people on. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody would probably look at Xzibit at 47 the same way Lou looked at, and then like, why he's on? Because
Right.
Xzibit, if you know Xzibit's history, Xzibit been putting it down.
Yeah.
And these are in positions where these numbers move up.
Mhm.
That's what these people are working on. Ice-T didn't land at number 7 on a list his first day or his 1st month or his first 5 years. He built that. So you see a lot of people like 03, they're building catalogs.
Yeah.
Right.
Draco Rest, building things,
Yeah, because we have to remember that the list is going by commercial impact and lasting influence. So
Yeah.
obviously, who people know the most for a longer time.
Yeah. And Dub C to me, man, Dub C from,
Dub C,
yeah,
so
man,
sick,
yeah,
dog.
Mad Circle, low profile. People
so
think that
sick.
Dub C is just a guy that raps with
One
Ice
of my
Cube,
favorites.
or he's a rapper from West Side Connection, and people probably don't even go that far back. You know what I'm saying? But when you think about low profile, pay your dues. When you think
Mhm.
about that Dub C, that MC Dub C,
Straight clowning.
you know what I'm saying? Oh my God, man! Even before that, and Dub C, Dub C.
Yeah, I've seen him.
Dub C and Coolio. You ever heard of Coolio?
Yep.
Dub C and
Paradise?
Coolio were in a group.
No.
Oh.
Yeah. That was the, because it was Dub C and it was DJ Aladdin, and they had a group called Low Profile. All right. And then Coolio was
Oh.
piecing around that. And then when it became the Mad Circle with tunes as well, that's when you start seeing this movement.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's I'm so mind blown right
Yeah,
now.
man. That's when you saw this movement.
What are
of,
like some songs that are with Dub C and Mad Circle or Coolio?
man, like early on, I'm trying to think. I'm getting low profile. I'm getting low profile mixed up. Low profile shit was Pay Your Dues.
That's I did
Straight
not know
profile. I mean, Mad
Mad
Circle
Circle.
was straight clowning, right?
Yeah, no,
What was that?
no, Straight Clowning. I think Google that because I think it's
that. Straight Clowning was just
it's Dub. It's just Dub C,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, man.
He's
Yeah.
also Snoop Dogg's cousin, right?
Who?
They were Dub C?
I
or
don't know.
no?
I never heard
Never
that.
heard that one.
Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about someone else then.
All right, now I can only save you so much now. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can only save you so much.
You know who I don't see on here that had a lot of influence?
Who's that?
Kid Frost.
Yeah.
Mm,
Wow.
good one.
Like
Good one.
just thinking about it.
Hey,
like,
man, out of
La
50,
Raza,
if you
like, out
put
of 50
Everlast
Los
on here,
Angeles.
Good one.
Kid Frost,
Like Kid
bro.
Frost.
What Kid Frost, and you know, Kid Frost is from Rhyme Syndicate as well. With Everlast, Ice-T, Donald D, you know, Bronx Style Bob,
Right,
like all
right.
these cats, right? But yes, man, what Kid Frost, where's Mellow Man Ace? Is Mellow Man on here?
No.
I don't know if is Mellow Man from LA.
If Be Real on here, you
Oh,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
like
yeah.
like Mellow Man is LA. Wow, that's crazy, man. But yeah,
Yeah.
Frost should definitely be on this list. For what Frost did in
Especially
the
of all time.
introduction. Oh man, yeah,
For
man.
Latino rappers for the
Dude,
West
that
Coast.
is a great addition
Huh.
on there, man. Great addition.
Yeah, I would probably move out Earl Sweatshirt. There you
Really. And see, then
Yeah.
somebody else would be like, man, like
go.
Earl Sweatshirt. And
Yeah.
Earl Sweatshirt at number 22.
That's weird to me.
Really?
I got a
Yeah.
discrepancy here. Roddy Ricch at 28. I thought we're not counting people that sing. Because Roddy's more of a singer than a rapper. To
You know
me.
what's wild about that? I can hear you when they say we didn't add Nate Dogg and we didn't add Ty Dolla
Mhm.
Sign,
Yeah.
but Roddy is on there. Wow,
Yeah.
that's a great argument, man.
That's true.
I do feel like he raps more than Ty does, though, because Ty to me is more of a singy
Yeah, yeah.
songy, and
Yeah.
Roddy, you still hear him hit the bars, like
Yeah,
when it
that is-
comes down
I-
to
But
it.
he's more
Yeah.
still melodic though in his
Yeah.
delivery.
I
So
can go either way.
Mm.
I can go either way.
Like when you think of the box, I don't think that's right.
Yeah, I
Put
think
that
that's
down in the
rapping.
box.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I can give you
And
that.
then
That
I
was a
put the
great point, though.
40s on. Oh, but Big, there's somebody in here. I really want to know what you think of this comment.
Please
from...
don't ask me something about somebody on here. 'Cause there's one on here. I don't think you should be on there. But go
I
ahead.
think that's the one I'm about to ask you about because Ashton Butcher said Doja is the #1 female rapper of all time to me. LMAO. She is the best music maker out of all the women. And also we had Reg above him say Doja is so hard. She top 5 females of all time rappers to me.
And let me tell you, for one, on the real, I didn't know that Doja was from LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tarzana.
Tarzana,
Yeah.
okay. Damn, you know what? Fuck, my bad. She told me that.
Yeah, that's right. Learned that too. He's all right, Michael.
But that's another thing where you know you sometimes people get so big you don't see them as such.
True.
You know what I'm saying? But with Doja Cat at number 26, I don't know.
To me, that's very low because I know
That's very low.
Yeah,
Like, what do you mean?
Like
she should be
more up.
Yeah.
like
because
more
she-
up. What more in
like
higher
maybe,
numbers?
yeah, higher numbers for sure.
Like you
no,
talking
no,
about
no,
like number 40?
No. Like
You
maybe
think that she should be up more?
yes, like probably like a 15 for me because
I would
Doja
not
Cat,
put Doja Cat at 15.
I
But
know,
that's
and
my,
that
you
sounds
know,
insane.
and that's why I'm saying I wouldn't know where to move it around. But if we're talking about it, I wouldn't put Doja
but
Cat
she
at
has
15.
bars, and I think a lot of people
Everybody on here have bars. Pretty much.
confuse her because she's done a lot of pop.
Yep, but that's the same thing we were having a conversation about with Will I
Yeah,
Am.
that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
And
You
also-
become so popular
Mhm.
that you become pop.
and also in their defense, like Will, Doja grew up in those early
Yeah.
Bananas in Lemur Park. She was one
Yeah,
of the dancers
man.
out there.
Yep,
did-
I stand
so
corrected, man. And
so
she's
she-
cut from the cloth.
she is.
You know what I'm saying? She been in the battle zones. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So,
Yes.
but I don't know if because I see the vast history
agree.
of it. I don't know if I will put Doja Cat at 26
Didn't
because she
she-
I
deserves
agree.
her to be on the list.
Didn't
Yes,
she get
but
attention off of a
26?
cow song or something like that?
Hey
yeah,
man,
Isn't that what
Whatever
went
it takes
viral?
these days.
Wow.
but is that bad because
Is it a
that's
move
what
or
you
something?
fucking around with and people gravitate towards it?
Whatever it
Mhm.
takes these days.
Yeah,
Just
I
to
don't
break
know.
through. And
She's
then
been
she just
killing it
kill-
since,
she's
though.
dope. As far as her performance, she's crazy dope,
Mm-hmm.
One of the best.
and she's a good rapper. ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
She's a great rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at 26, you
Nah.
You know, Daz is under her, Roddy Ricch is under her, J Rock is under her,
Yeah.
Yo-Yo's under her,
Yeah,
O3 Greedo, AC Alone from Freestyle Fellowship, Razcat. So that's just hard for me to see Tash and see Cam and Fat Lip. And when you look at some of these names that I'm naming, these are some of the older rappers too.
Yeah.
But so it's hard for me to see her over some of these rappers that's right here. But then when you look at it, you see Ab-Soul at 43, you see Jeezy at 47. I love that G Perico's on here at 48. You know what I'm saying? So when you see these names, you know, I think that the list, as far as like the way that it's around certain people and the numbers are like this, I can't argue the list. And I think that's what Complex put it together for, because they want you to argue the list.
Because I thought about this, I was like, did
The
they
Tupac thing is going to be forever insane to people.
Yeah.
That's not going to go the layer deeper to see why Tupac isn't on this list.
And people are upset in the chat too, because I guess they
For
came
what
in a
they
little
said.
later about Pac. They're like, how the F is Pac not on the list?
All
Shit
righty, well,
pissed
let's
me
go
off.
back to them then.
That's
If
Paul.
If
as
you're
well.
just joining us,
Yeah.
all righty, if you're just joining us in this live, 50 best LA rappers of all time.
Of all time.
And we kind of started off with why Pac isn't on the list. And there was the reason why Complex said that Pac isn't on the list.
Yeah, the reason is because he's not that he wasn't born here, but that
Right. Read it. Don't
Let me
make it
see.
up.
All right,
You know
let
what
me
I'm
go
saying?
look.
Like,
Let me go look. Okay, so it
yeah.
says, for the list, we included artists who creatively came to life in the city that reflects its ethos in their music. And by LA, we mean LA County. That's why some big names like Tupac didn't make the cut.
So with that being said, if you're just joining us right now, you know, and it's not a history lesson, and it's just something that's known. You know what I'm saying? Pac was born in the East.
Yeah.
He was, you know, a lot in Maryland. And then his come to California, Pac was heavily in the Bay.
Yeah.
And his early days in the Bay was with Digital Underground. When you think about Pac's one of his first verses, because he was a dancer and, you know, and out there with Digital Underground. And I knew Pac before, you know, the Death Row days. I knew Pac, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, cool.
And so this, you know, he was a prop guy. He was the dancer. You know, if you look at, you know, same song from Digital Underground, that's the first time you heard Pac rap, and that's from the Bay Area. Then when Pac came to LA and got with Death Row, that's when you started hearing Pac say the most about Los Angeles.
Yeah.
A lot of the things with Pac beforehand wasn't about LA. It wasn't to live and die in LA. It wasn't California love. It wasn't hitting the swap meets. It wasn't the things, you know, it wouldn't be LA without Mexicans. That wasn't Pac until Pac came to LA. With no disrespect, it's documented and it's known. And a lot of people are posthumous Pac fans that got onto Pac after he passed. This is my talking to you about knowing about Pac, playing Pac's records when they were new records, you know, and knowing Pac before Death Row. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite songs from Pac is When My Homies Call. That's not a Death Row record. You know what I'm saying? Brenda's Got a Baby is that's the Bay Area. That's not a Death Row Los Angeles record. So when they broke it down, that's why when people say why Pac's not on the list, should he be on there? If Pac represented LA, you motherfucking right, he represented LA. But if they're going by that standard, then that's why Pac isn't on it. And I know that they did this to have us have this dialogue about Pac not being on here, because that's the first thing people noticed when they saw this list. Where the fuck is Pac?
Yeah, that was one of my
Because Pac come up on every list.
Yeah.
He come up on a country list. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's top 5 of all time country. You know what I'm saying?
That was one of my main arguments. It's just like,
Yeah.
how is Pac not on here? Like, in this list, it's like, if I was to put Pac in there, which I did.
Yeah, she
I
put
picked-
Pac in on the show.
even though they
earlier.
didn't, you know, I put him in there as number 4 for me because, and it's crazy that I didn't know the whole backstory of how,
Right.
because,
And a lot of people don't.
yeah, when he died, I mean, I don't think well, how do you say it when these people say it now on the line?
Yeah.
Passed away.
Well, no,
Yeah,
I
passed
still
away.
say die, killed,
Die, yeah. It's
murdered.
just-
Like,
I
Not
wasn't
that
even
unalive
born
shit.
yet. So
Right.
it's like, how was I supposed I mean, I guess I should have done some research, but yeah,
Mhm.
I was just like, how is he not in here?
what year were you born?
1996.
Damn.
The year he passed.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
The
gay.
year he passed.
Damn, that's crazy. Man, so but 96 you were born.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah,
but,
you just like,
yeah, exactly.
because you were born in June, huh?
Yeah.
You heard little feeling. Yeah.
And Vic, so now in the comments after that, they're asking, so how was Kurupt on the list if he wasn't? He was born in
We're not
Philly?
talking about born in when it comes to the list.
Yeah.
Kurupt popped in Los
Just looking at it
Angeles.
out here, yeah.
It wasn't born, you know, because if that's the case, then if Nate was on here, I think Nate was born in Mississippi.
Yeah, yes.
You know, Xzibit was born in New Mexico. You know what I'm saying? So it's not born in, but when you think about Kurupt popped right here. When we talk about what the Chronic felt like and what Death Row and going through clubs and freestyle battling against Snoop Dogg, Kurupt was right here, and his career and everything was rooted right here in Los Angeles. You know, so that's why, you know, I could feel like people, you know, which is a great question. Why is you know, Kurupt on here and Pac not? But this isn't about birth, because I don't know where a lot of these guys were born at, but you know, there's maybe more. But I just know when it comes to Xzibit is a West Coast artist.
Yes.
Yep.
Xzibit is an LA artist, but Xzibit will tell you that I was born in New Mexico. You know what I'm saying? So Ice-T was born in New Jersey, but Ice-T is one of the biggest and first LA rappers that we have. When that dude gave you 6 in the morning and colors and introduced gang banging and the narrative of storytelling, that's LA. Back on the streets after 5 in the Deuce 7 years later, you know. But when you hear that, that's Los Angeles, 6 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Crenshaw High. That's Ice-T, but he was born in New Jersey.
I didn't know that he was born out there.
Yeah, man.
I do want to talk about. I think Dom Kennedy should be like higher, as in like for me, he's a number 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
I love that then.
I love Dom Kennedy. I think he's a great
I
artist. and
love it then. Because Dom Kennedy came in at number 19.
Yeah.
And Dom Kennedy was one of those that I was happy he was on the list, because Dom doesn't make it. There's some people that just don't make it to these lists.
He doesn't get that recognition.
So when I saw 19, I was like, I was just happy he was on the fucking list.
Me too.
So you saying that Dom, you will move to 6?
For me, 6 for sure. I was even debating.
You moved DJ Quik out of there?
Oh, no.
Yeah, but you have to think about it.
Quik is sitting on 6 right now.
And I do like Quik, but
Dom would tell you don't do that.
But listen though, the difference is that I grew up more listening to Dom. Like this was my high school era. Like I used to listen to Dom all the time. And it's like DJ Quik, I don't have that. Like I know the DJ Quik songs and I love them, but I'm not gonna sit here and say like I know a lot of his music. You know what I mean? Whereas Dom Kennedy is like, I know a lot of his stuff, his mixtapes, and that's what I chose to listen to. So it's like it's just a difference.
Yeah, and that's if you put your list together. You know what I'm saying? Like Dom, I love that Dom is on the list, but I wouldn't put Dom at number 6.
Yeah.
You know, if I had to take, and then would you take DJ Quik out there? Where do you move this at? You know, it becomes this puzzle that never becomes completed.
And they just got disrespectful in the chat because of what Mariana just said. But
damn,
Dan,
they that quick with their freedom.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh my god.
Damn, they talking in the chat, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
I probably don't even want to read these motherfuckers.
But Dan said Dom Kennedy number 6 is like having Blueface number 1.
Wow.
And then Red said
that's
Dom.
extreme.
Now
That's
that
extreme.
is
That's extreme.
yeah, that's a little extreme.
Yeah.
That's very extreme.
Yeah, when I read that, I was like, whoa. But
Yeah.
then Red said Dom is not even top 20.
Right.
And
For
he
them.
said Quik is a legend.
Yeah.
It's not about your era and what you grew up on.
Yeah, but understandably that you don't have that quick in you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're not even 30.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you don't have that's not in you. So that doesn't make it wrong.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make it you don't know history. That's just your history.
And I do like DJ Quik. Like, I'm
Right.
not gonna lie and say like, oh, I don't know who that is. I do know who he is. I know his songs, but to me, I feel like the impact that Dom Kennedy has on me is completely
On you,
different
yeah.
than
Which
DJ
is fair.
Quik.
What about the aside from on you, the
Mhm.
impact of Los Angeles?
I mean, I could see why Quik is number 6 though.
Right.
Like,
I
if it's-
love
if
you
it's
know what
all
I
LA,
love that they recognize Quik
Very
to
much so.
put him in the top 10.
Yeah, for sure.
Quik
I
don't
can see
make
that.
these
Yeah.
lists, man.
Mhm.
Quik is one of the most underrated MCs, producers, creators, musicians, forward thinkers. You know, I've seen Quik do things beyond hip hop
Mhm.
that were unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
I've been on the road with Quik. I've been to Japan with Quik. I've seen him mix records. I've seen him set up his own sound systems. I've seen what it takes for him to record a certain sound. And then when you see him live, where his voice is at. So with Quik, I just love that he's on that list. And I love that someone thought to put him at number 6.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because Quik don't make it to the list.
And that's what I mean when I'm saying like if it's all of LA, obviously, yes, I do think that he's number 6 because of the impact that he has
Right.
with the city.
Right.
But if I'm picking mine,
Yeah.
I'm
We get it.
moving Dom Kennedy for number
And
6.
then, and
Like,
then a lot of
We get it.
these is not even impact. You know what I'm saying? Like if we look at impact, there's the man, this list moves everywhere.
Yeah.
If we talking about impact.
Now, let me tell you, because I was just looking at this list again, and I'm looking at the principles that they sorted this out, right? So I think I would go Dr. Dre number 1.
Mhm.
The only reason
Mm.
is because if you're going by strength of catalog,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Dre's strength of catalog, I think beats Kendrick's.
Right.
When it goes commercial impact and lasting influence, just because Dre's older than Kendrick, I think the lasting influence should
And we talking about
last
Dre
a little longer than
from Skate
than
Land.
Kendrick.
Yeah.
Dre mixing on 1580 KDAY, the
Yeah.
original
Original mix-
1580
mix
KDA.
masters.
We're talking about NWA. We're talking about
Yes.
World Class Wrecking Crew. We're talking
Yes.
about not even the production of NWA, Michelle,
Mhm.
Ice Cube, Eazy E, the Eminem, 50 Cent. So I can see where Louis would say, if we're talking about that for the West Coast,
Yes.
then Dre shouldn't be number 4.
Because I get it as skill as a hip hop
Because
artist.
even Snoop,
Yeah.
Snoop, you can arguably put Snoop at number 1.
I did.
Yeah.
You can
I did.
arguably put Ice Cube at number 1.
Very true.
You can arguably put Dr. Dre the same way you could put Kendrick.
The
Yeah.
family tree is huge.
Yeah,
Family
man.
tree's huge.
And you got to think when you look at Dr. Dre, all righty, look at Dr. Dre at number 4. All righty, you see Dre at 4.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Look at number 3.
Ice Cube.
That's Ice Cube, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Everybody has the Drake connection.
That's NWA.
Right.
That's Dr. Dre. That's from Dr. Dre's tree.
Damn!
Look at number 2,
Snoop.
Snoop Dogg,
Snoop. Oh,
Yeah.
and look at number 1.
Kendrick.
Kendrick.
He co-signed him.
That's
Hell
all
yeah,
of
he
them.
did.
I'm with you. I
influence.
remember that call when he called.
So Dr. Dre number 1 for me.
Dr. Dre,
After
Eazy
thinking
E,
about this.
Dr. Dre, The Game, Dr. Dre, Kurupt,
Yep.
Dr. Dre, Xzibit. That's why
Mm-hmm.
YG said he got something to say. He's the only one that came, pretty much from the
Oh,
West
Twist
Coast
my
about
fingers,
Dr.
yeah.
Dre. You know what I'm saying? Because when you look at this right here, man, King T worked with Dre. You
That's
look at this,
crazy.
Warren G, Dre, MC Ren, Dre.
Yep.
This list, Daz Dillinger,
Mhm.
Dre. This list goes on and on. You know what I'm saying? Like the Yo with Cube to Dre. The degrees of separation on this entire list to Dr. Dre is either 1 degree of separation or 2
Very true.
Yeah.
that go back to
Crazy.
Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? That's wild. Lady of Rage to Snoop to Dre. No, Lady of Rage straight to Dre.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the list goes on and on and on.
Somebody said if you are a Gen Z person, just enjoy the debate.
Oh.
I'm like, bro, I am not.
They're still roasting about the Quik comment.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't call him. His nickname is America's most complete artist for a reason.
Right.
But you gotta think too, man. It's like this is like someone having a conversation, right?
Mhm.
And somebody say, "Oh man, the Temptations and the Four Tops." Then you like with me, I'm like, "Oh well, I like my girl," and I like that. Then oh man, you didn't know
Right.
about the true sounds of music, and so
Yeah.
she's not a historian.
Yeah.
So that's what I want people to understand, man, is that you are representing so many people as you're sitting here in this room. You probably sitting here in this room, people like, oh, you move quick, but then there's somebody else out there that don't know, and you're speaking for that person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody don't have this hip hop knowledge because everybody's not cut from the same cloth or didn't get on the same on ramp as me,
Exactly.
nor are you my age.
Mhm.
For your age specific category, like my son would look at this and he wouldn't know, none of these names by a lot of the art. He'll know Snoop, he'll know Kendrick, he'll know,
Mhm.
but he wouldn't know them by the historic art of it.
Yeah.
My son, his top 10 would look totally different because my son is 18.
Right.
So that's why your top 10, Mariana and Ani, will look different, because when you look at this, Dre will be 60. Ice Cube will be 56 next month. You know, those are the people that we're talking about. You guys, y'all, you know what I'm saying? You know the songs, but you don't know the oof of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I would move Tyga up. I don't
Yeah.
think Tyga belongs at 25. That's
Yeah.
crazy to
what?
me.
He's got
I would
hits,
move-
but
I mean, I grew up on Tyga though. I was like
Right.
listening to Tyga in high school. Like
it's the on ramp, as you were saying.
It's
Biz.
Tyga.
Right, it
It's
is.
YG.
Wait.
They were together when everything was going on. It was
Where
like
would you
Nipsey.
put Tyga?
It would definitely be above Xzibit. No offense.
Right.
Above MC Light.
It's not just
Wow.
rapping.
No,
dude.
Well, there's no MC Light
Catalog-
on here.
Oh, sorry, I missed
MC
that
Light was
one.
another one that we.
It's not just
Sorry.
rapping though. Like
MC8.
Yes.
somebody just put up, you just naming people who wrote for Dr. Dre. This ain't a producer list, it's rap. They're basing this off like the three categories that we just explained.
Exactly.
Like I'm not
Skill as a hip hop.
There
it's
is
not
an-
just rapper. Skill as a hip hop artist, strength of catalog, commercial impact,
What did
and
the
lasting
person say?
influence. They said you're just naming people who wrote. I lost it because
people that wrote for Dre.
that people who wrote for Dre. This is a rapper's list, not a producer's list.
It's important to note
But
that
Dre rapped those lyrics,
Right.
and we're talking about influence as well.
And they mentioned that they don't care about who
Right,
Ghost
complex.
wrote. Who
Yeah,
Ghost wrote for who.
they're not talking
It's
about
just-
that. They're not talking about
No.
looking at credits and all that kind of
No,
stuff,
strength
man.
of catalog, commercial impact, lasting influence. Those two.
There's some
2
songs
out of
that you
3.
love from Snoop that Snoop didn't write.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And then there's some songs from Snoop that Snoop just said press play, cuz, and went off his head, the shiznit.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you know what I'm saying? But Snoop also knew how to get a bar from Kurupt if he needed that, or a line. And there's a camaraderie when it came to how they did Death Row Records.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if that's the case, then yeah, Quik is producer and writer. And musician and everything.
Everything.
So I feel what the person's saying, but
Yeah.
by the standards of what they're talking about,
The
you know,
principles. Yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
Getting
What do you
waved at.
think about the comments? A lot of people in the chat are like, "What about Crooked Eye? I think it's disrespectful that he's at number 46."
Yeah, man.
A lot of people said
I
that.
saw that as well, man. King Crooked. Crooked Eye for one, and that's another one that I love is on here because Crooked Eye is a effing beast. And Crooked Eye, he doesn't make it to these type of lists.
Right.
So am I satisfied with him being at 46? That's arguable. But am I happy that he made it to the list? Hell yeah. Because people don't know what Crooked Eye did for the game. And I don't mean game as a rapper. I mean game as in hip-hop game.
Right.
You know, they don't understand what this dude did for the game. And he's not the flashiest. He's not the artist where you say, oh, I can name 10 songs. But when you go and you look at Crooked Eye from the turf and everything, that he never wastes words. And
No.
that's why I'm so glad that he made it to that list, man.
I think with this list, obviously we
Yo, I love you. Made it to the list. Yo,
have-
intelligent black women crew,
Yeah.
man. And Yo is and was a fucking beast. So when you see those, Yo don't get those accolades, man. So when you see Yo coming in at 31, hell yeah, she should have been on this list. Like, and y'all probably don't know Yo, but those that do know Yo, it's like, fuck that, yeah, because these are people that also came in the game to make sure that all these others could come into the game. You know, when you sit up and you listen to our station and stations in LA, hip hop wasn't even played on the radio.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? I would go to Skateland and go to these, World on Wheels in these little spots. You got Kendrick now at fucking SoFi with 70,000 people. You know what I'm saying? I would go to World on Wheels and watch acts there because that's what hip hop was. You know what I'm saying? So you look at it now, and that's why when people say, oh, hip hop eat its own, or all that old school N-word, so on and so forth, you don't understand what these people did. And that shouldn't change your influence. But somebody should be able to tell you who these people are and what they did to make sure that a lot of these names that you see on here were able to come in because of the hard work that somebody did before.
Absolutely.
Now, when you get out of here and whatever city you're about to drive to go home, right? Somebody laid that road for you to get there.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Somebody at one point,
Yep.
it may have been a dirt road, it may have been whatever the fuck it was, but somebody laid that road.
Right.
And sometimes you don't know who laid it down, but you would know that the road exists.
Yeah.
I'm just showing you some of the people that laid the road, laid the pavement down. And that's why when I see people disrespecting hip hop and, all these old N-words, you don't know where it came from for you to be able to say what you're doing right now. They hauled Luther Campbell from Luke Skywalker. They hauled him into jail because he cursed. He was the first. 2 Live Crew was the first group to have a parental advisory sticker because people weren't cursing. They was getting arrested. Record store people were getting arrested. So these are the history lessons. People don't want history lessons, but these are the things that when we see these kind of lists and you look and you say, oh, you know, who the fuck is MC Eiht? Or you know, I didn't know about, and respectfully, I didn't know about King T. I didn't know about such and such. You know, that's why you need a balance in the room for somebody to say, oh, this is probably why that person's on. The same way, if it was just, you know, you two in here and you didn't have a balance of me, or if I was in here and in another room and I didn't understand, like sitting with my kids, and I'll say, man, well, why do you like Yeet so much? Then my son would tell me why he like Yeet.
Yeah, we
You
got
know what I'm
people in
saying?
the comments right now saying Yeet is #1. He's like the #1 rapper.
And Yeet is here.
Yeah.
that
He's
is
from LA.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think Yeet is IE. You know what I'm saying?
We can
Right.
agree and disagree on the order, but I think
Right.
Complex did do a good job of trying to make sure everybody
Yeah.
got a little something in. I mean, you got Sugar Free in here.
Yeah, man, come on
You
now.
got Sugar Free in here. You got Merce in there. It was Merce
Merge.
shouted you out his new single, by the way.
Oh,
Big.
really?
Mhm.
Merge did?
Yes, he did.
I haven't heard that.
Yep. And this is last record.
Oh,
One of the
man.
best. If you were to say core as far as best underground rappers, consistency catalog, Merce is definitely up there.
Oh, yeah, man.
Absolutely.
And Merge did a lot for the game, too. And Merge, some people don't know Merge, right? But Merge also took what he had and what he knew, and he put on other people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
He
saying?
set the stage for a
On
lot
their
of other
on the
people.
stage
Pay
so
dues.
they can be recognized with paid dues.
Merch for president.
You know what I'm saying?
I love the
Like,
album, bro.
man,
Classic.
yeah.
You know
My
what Mer's
favorite.
song I know?
What's
Can
that?
you guys guess?
Love and Appreciate.
No, it's a breakup song.
Oh,
see?
that's on that same album.
It's I think it was a very popular song.
Yeah, because did you get your heart broken or
Yeah,
you broke
you know,
somebody's heart?
I was venting through it.
Yeah, man.
If someone was to come to you and say, "Hey, I don't know anything about LA hip hop, LA rap, teach me or give me 3 names to just study
Hmm,
out of this list. 3 names to study.
that's
I know
hard.
I know nothing about hip hop. Give me 3 names to study.
Damn. Nothing about LA hip hop?
Nothing about LA hip hop. What
Ooh.
3 names do I?
That's hard, bro. I would say Dr. Dre is one because under Dr. Dre, it's
get
like
that-
a course.
You get everybody.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
You get a
Yeah.
course, right? Shit. Who else? If you did know about, because with Dre, you get Kurupt, you get Xzibit, you get so many with that, right?
Mhm.
And then you get Raz Kaz because Raz also ran out on the tour. Sorry about that, Raz. You got kicked off on like one of the first dates. Sorry about that.
Raz.
Yeah, sorry about that, Raz. Razzle Cazzle.
I would say Nipsey as one
Yeah.
for sure
Yep.
to learn about.
And
LA.
then I would also say, man, like you gotta sit with like a Tyler the Creator
Mm,
or Will I Am or somebody that's thinking, you know,
outside the box.
yeah, and
The
whatever
alternative of
you know,
what- of
and,
LA.
and sorry, Roddy Rich, we're not talking about your that box,
Hater.
but somebody that can say, wait, we doing that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because when you look at hip hop, right? Hip hop was a thing where they wouldn't insure buildings for us to have hip hop in. Hip hop wasn't on radio. It was on small shows or it came on after 10 o'clock at night. It was
Yeah.
on AM radio with 1580. And then so when you look at what hip hop is today, I think that you gotta understand what Dre did with not just music, but when you thought about beats and when you thought about, you know, hit the headphones and all that, those
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
things that was beyond the music. When you see Will I Am talking about, Will I Am was one of the first people that I heard with AI
Yeah.
and holograms and all that shit,
The
right?
music videos just
Yeah, man.
always, you know,
Yeah,
futuristic.
and then when you look at like a Tyler the Creator, that's a kid that came and said, you know what, I want to change the game. And when you look at what he does with fashion and what he does with his Camp Flognaw, you know, and now the Converse, there's things that's outside that you say, man, look at this thing that we call hip hop.
Yeah, he's like the first.
This is LA we're talking
Yeah,
about.
he's like the first one that kind of came out really wearing those like different colors
Yeah.
that you don't really see in hip hop.
Right.
You know, like the fashion that he brings and his style is like something that you don't really see in hip
and
hop.
then you saw that early on with the Far Side.
Right.
You know, or when people say, oh, backpack rappers, you know what I'm saying? You saw this different vision with Freestyle Fellowship. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like you saw these like hip hop was just the way, you know, there was a look that you had with hip hop as well.
Big, we can't forget Jurassic 5. Talking about grooves. I was like, oh shoot, we didn't mention J5.
Man, and you mentioned him as a collective, right? How do you break it down on this list? Where's Tuna at? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you know, and these are names that y'all probably don't know, but these are people that put it in.
I put groups together. I'm not even separating groups. I mean, if you put
same, man.
You putting Be Real in there, you gotta put Cypress as a whole.
Man, Cypress, you gotta put Freestyle Fellowship in there. You gotta put the Far Side in there. You know, when you see,
how do you miss that?
Yeah, Booyah Tribe.
Booyah Tribe,
yeah.
man.
Shout out to
Gangsta
Nick.
Red, like, oh, somebody put Booyah in there.
Yeah, Nick Alonso.
Hey
I ain't mad
man,
at that.
Gangsta Red from the Booyah Tribe, man. Just the entire family. Booyah Tribe as a group and what they mean and meant to Los Angeles should definitely be in here. When you look at Gangsta Red, like there's some now that I would move off to put Red on there.
And I hate that I don't know. Like it
but
does
you
something to. I know, but
I got you on the playlist.
You know what you do know?
What
you know.
True.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? You know what you know. And the thing about it is that you're not trying to, you know, I would usually say Trump anyone, but people don't say that anymore. But you're not trying to make your list believable or saying that, well, you know, like you said, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with somebody saying such and such, wait, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then somebody could tell you something different. You know what I'm saying? But if you just weren't listening, then it's like, you know, these old, you know.
Yeah, like I never heard of, I've heard the name Booyah Tribe, but I never heard music.
Yeah, man.
So now I want to dive into
Same.
Raid, Psycho Funk.
Yeah.
Then they had an album that didn't come out, man.
That's crazy.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I
God,
can't
man.
wait.
Yeah, Booyah. And
to
with
listen.
Booyah Tribe, man, they played instruments and music and OMB, you know, on the bass, like Godfather, man. Yeah, that was wild.
Somebody did say, do y'all think the game is top 5? Which is crazy because we were discussing that.
Game came in at 11. I
Yeah,
thought that was fucking amazing. But when Game hit me yesterday, Game is like, fuck 11.
If this was only lyricists, maybe.
Who would he move off? I just don't know who he would move off.
Gotta ask the Game. I should have had him on here.
You were kind of lazy booking and put Blueface at 50, then put Blue at 49. Like Blue is one of the most underrated underground MCs to come out of LA in the last.
And then we think about groups too.
I've never heard of
Blue
Blue.
and Exile.
Same.
Blue and
Yeah.
Exile. Dancing in the Rain. Like
Even Exile, like, what the fuck? What the hell?
I got y'all the playlist. It's all good.
Okay.
I'll pass it on the links later.
No, but you know, like for real. And when you see that, it almost looked like they just said Blueface. You know
Yeah,
what
like
I'm
they put the
saying?
blues together. Kind of both.
Yeah, man.
Shelton said the game put K Dot on J Rock on Nipsey, so put some respect on the game's name.
And
Game put a lot of people first on tour. The
Yeah.
Yotes were in here the other day and said that.
yeah, man. Yeah. The Yodis were like, you know, our first thing was going to, that was their first like passports was going out with the game.
Which is cool, and I get it, but I don't think he's above everybody else on this list. Like, I don't think there's Kendrick Lamar to me is number 1.
I just got to be careful because I know Game writing right now.
I would put Game
500
at 8,
bars
though.
and running.
Like,
Yeah.
you put Game at 8.
Yeah, I feel like that's valid.
I don't
for
know.
me.
I don't know where
I got him at 8 too.
I don't know
got him
where
at
I would put Game at. You know what I'm saying? Like to put him at 8, am I moving Ice-T off? Am I moving DJ Quik? You know what I'm saying?
And
Am I
over
moving
Nipsey?
Dre? Am I moving Ice Cube? You know, and I know it's probably going to sound crazy, man, but would I move Tyler to put Game there?
I
And not
can
at
see
number 5, but in
that.
top 10?
You know what? It's like you're building a house. A lot of these names are the house or the foundation. Do you move the
Yeah.
foundation and what do you
Right.
have after
But
that?
then also,
I don't-
this isn't built on the house.
Right.
You know, this isn't, you know, like.
Yeah.
I don't
And
think
Goat
you
says-
associate.
Wait.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. What were you about to
I
say?
was gonna say Goat agrees.
Wait, hold. Let me get Louis first.
Yeah.
I don't think you associate LA with Tyler the Creator to me.
Really?
Huh?
Yeah, like
He's from Hawthorne though.
because
Yeah.
I live here, yes, but I think the rest of the country is not like.
But
Tyler's
you know why?
From LA, Tyler's from LA. Tyler's from
But
LA.
you know why?
The game LA is LA, dog.
But I think that there's also this thing where people say, "Oh, the look,"
Yeah.
or the, you know, like what was that freestyle that Tyler just put out when
Hey
he was?
now?
Yeah.
Hey Now, yeah.
The Hey Now, the Kendrick
Right.
mix.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was-
Hey now, I'm all about my
Spit.
bands.
Woo!
Yes.
He
And
showed
did it
you.
on
He
the
showed
freeway.
you, like, dude, I can do this shit.
Yes.
But I understand what you're talking about because even back to where the Far Side was, people didn't know the Far Side was from LA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and you would see these groups from the Bay Area as well. The people didn't know the hieroglyphics were from, you know, from the Bay or from the West Coast.
Right.
So I can see, even that you're here, people don't say LA artist Tyler the Creator.
No.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But he became really famous because of Odd Future.
Yeah.
Odd
Yeah,
Future
of
Wolfgang,
course.
he used to do a lot of these videos in the streets of LA and
Off of
the-
Fairfax.
Yeah,
but
Gotcha.
but I
Gotcha.
hear what you're saying
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And Tyler also said that at the Chromacopia listening party. He's like, people don't realize I'm from here. I grew up down the street over there. Like, he had to point that out.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
then,
Tyler can get around Los Angeles without navigation.
Oh yeah.
yep.
Without turn left.
But Big, when we were talking about the game and you were saying like you don't know if you would move Tyler for the game, Goat in here said Game got way better albums than Tyler.
Oh.
And he put way with like a bunch of A's.
Right.
I agree with that.
And that's his thing.
I
You know what I'm
agree.
saying? But then also, man, we the best. Remember when DJ Khaled when they were battling
Yeah.
for that #1 spot.
I do remember
And
that.
and did the Drake vocals come and all that kind of shit, right? And Tyler got his ass on that first one.
Yes, he did.
You know what I'm saying? He got his ass. So there's a lot of people that probably don't know Tyler's music, but when that dude drop, you know where it's
He
at.
has
Like even
bars.
with us, right? There's interviews that we'll drop, and we'll say, where did that audience come from for Ali Sadiq?
Yeah.
But
Wow.
there's people that's like,
True.
boom, like
Yeah.
they drop and they're there.
Mhm.
And I think that on a broad spectrum, world tours and all that shit, when it comes to Tyler the Creator, huge. But also there's a fan base
That's real.
that shows the fuck up. And we saw that, and I'm talking about from the celebrity theater to, the Hollywood Palladium, all that shit, to where last week I walk and I see Kendrick doing 3 nights.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Damn near 250,000 people. When we had Kendrick in here and he was happy when he sold out. What was the spot? The Whiskey or one of those,
It was the Roxy, I think.
the Roxy, the Roxy.
I remember he performed the Key Club back then.
When
man.
you see that, man, and you see where hip hop is at, that's why I can't disrespect anyone that's on this list. Are some of them arguable and positions move around? I would say more so it's not who's on the list. I just wish that there was more on the list.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
same.
saying? More. Anybody before we break out?
Yeah, I want to do my top 5.
Okay, go
All
ahead.
right.
Oh, you want to end on controversy?
Yes, exactly.
Jesus Christ.
We
they
know
already
DJ Quik's
kill-
not
Let's
in
they
there.
argue.
they're already killing you in the
Let's
comments.
argue. I know, but
Okay, so give us
listen,
your top
I'm
5.
ready to get
and,
attacked.
and even your top 5. I think we already went over this because I know
wait.
that Pac is in your 5, right? And
Yes.
we already explained this.
All right, I want to do top
You want to do
10.
it anyway?
Yes. really quick. Number 1.
There is no really quick because now it's gonna start another conversation.
All
we
right,
can't end on your list.
No, we can't.
Yeah.
Man, I
No,
should've started at the
because your
beginning.
list is suspect to
Put
somebody.
it up on Instagram, bro.
Yeah,
There you go.
Alright.
There you go.
tell them where you at on Instagram.
All righty then.
Yeah, wait, tell them where they
Oh.
can find you.
It's Mariana G.
Yeah,
Literally
so-
ITSMARIG.
Yeah, it's Mariana.
And then double A. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Underscore.
So put your list up there. You know what I'm saying?
Go
Hey,
check
dude,
it out.
she got an ITS, Mariana, Liz, underscore.
Yes.
She got a little gold star and shit in her.
I
Right.
do. I'm ready. So
Right.
if you guys
any other comments before we break out?
Dan really wants me to mention Cali Swag District.
Oh! You know, that's your guys. Teach me how to Dougie.
I know, teach me how to Dougie,
Yeah.
but Dan has been putting it in the chat this whole time pretty much. He's
And
like,
those are
mention
others,
them.
man, that you look, man. What's my little cat daddy partners?
Oh, the rejects.
The
yeah.
rejects.
The rejects.
Yeah.
And then when you go through that, what about man, the crunk movement, what's my other little
New
partner's
boys,
name?
this
The new
old
boys.
swag,
Oh, I love
that whole
Yeah, man, like that those were moments
jerk
too,
move-
and
jerk
they
movement.
don't the jerk movement.
Mhm.
TF Third, one of the creators of jerk. You don't get they don't get these lists, man.
Without-
Mhm.
without that sound, we don't have mustard. Like literally, they were neck and neck in terms
Wow.
of
Mhm.
you go game and blog era. Here comes Kendrick. Here comes the swag era, the jerk movement, and then here's the new West.
Mixed Master Spade, Toddy T. I love y'all, bro. Believe that. Hey, man. And some of the names that's on here, great. First off, man, to everybody that's on this list, man, congratulations
Congrats.
Yeah.
to you.
Absolutely.
Y'all can have the conversation, but congratulations to you, man. Congratulations.
Well said.
And Blueface, Blue, G Perico, OGZ, Crooked Eye, Evidence, Everlast, Absol, Will I Am, Lady of Rage, Coolio, Fat Lip from the Far Side, West Coast Cam, Mac 10, Tash, Murs, Dub C, Razcast, AC Alone, and the entire Freestyle Fellowship, Yo-Yo, 03 Greedo, J Rock, Roddy Rich, Daz Dillinger, Doja Cat, Tyga, Draco the Ruler, Vince Staples, Earl Sweatshirt, MC Ren, Warren G, Dom Kennedy, Sugar Free, Schoolboy Q, King T, YG, Xzibit, Kurupt, MC Eiht, The Game, Nipsey Hussle, Eazy E, Be Real, Ice-T, DJ Quik, Tyler the Creator, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar. I thank you guys for what y'all did for Los Angeles. I thank you guys what y'all did for West Coast. I thank you for what you did for the genre. And I thank you for the representation that y'all put out around the world.
Yes.
And that right there needs to be applauded. And that's why I didn't read any numbers next to it. So thank you guys.
West.
And
Yes,
I'm
sir.
so proud to know so many people and be graced by so many of these people and have them in the neighborhood, man, and just see what you do. And I wish you, the ones that's still here with us, I wish you nothing but the best. And the ones that's not here with us, man, continue to make sure that we speak positivity on their names. Thank you guys for hanging out with us in our live, man. You can find this right here at Big Boy TV. We're going to hold it up. And for every person that jumped into the comment, every person that's watching us live, thank you from Big Boy and the neighborhood.
Yep.
And we are gone.